All right, let's have a look at the third passage, questions 9 to 12. So this is about marshlands and marsh birds particularly, right? It talks about how coastal wetlands, they harbor fish, shellfish, and wading birds, right? And then we discuss more about these birds, how these birds are difficult to spot and therefore they're easier to hear because they're hiding in dense grasses. So what people who are researching on them, what they do is they actually use this callback survey to monitor them. So they play a pre-recorded set of calls and then see whether a bird responds to them or not. And then when the bird responds, they see from where this sound is coming, from what kind of ecosystem, and it measures various characteristics of the birds based on this, right? Then we talk about a particular kind of bird, clapper rails, right? A particular kind of marsh birds, clapper rails. We describe them in the passage. Then we talk about where they typically live. They typically live in tidal marshes where there is vegetation to hide in. We also discuss how how they prey on their food there, how they survive whenever there is, let's say, some flooding, how they protect themselves from predators, what do they do when a storm comes, right? So we discuss all these factors in this passage. So an easy read, not a difficult read. Let's have a look at the questions. Question 9. According to the passage, marsh birds. So we are talking about marsh birds in general, not clapper rails particularly. A, typically live in the open in mudflats, are adept, skilled at flying at high speeds, are not able to swim in waters with strong currents, are difficult to spot. Okay, so do they typically live in the open in mud flats? Is that mentioned in the passage? Let's see. Where do they live? So when these researchers they are recording various facts about these birds, they say that we also note the type of ecosystem where we detect the birds. For example, whether they are in a tidal marsh with emergent vegetation or out in the open on mud flats. That means they can live at both the places. So option A becomes wrong then if they can live in either of the two, right? Then the second option talked about their flying at high speeds. That is not something that is given in my passage. Flying has not been discussed at all. So no matter what paragraph you look at, you'll not find any information about flying at high speeds. So this is not substantiated. So these two are eliminated. Not able to swim in water with strong currents versus are difficult to spot. Towards the end, I remember the very last paragraph talked about birds in affected areas may swim or be blown to other locations when there is a storm. So likely there'll be strong currents then. So they may swim. That means this becomes false. They're not able to swim. And this is something that is given in the passage that they are difficult to spot. That is why the callback survey method is used to monitor them. They are adept at hiding in dense grasses, so it's more common to hear them than to see them. Right? They are difficult to spot. So option D is clearly the answer. A very direct question, easy question.